I mean, unless you can replicate the sun, I'm not really sure what it is. You can try playing pink ball, but that's not... Whose phone's that? Dan's calling you. Dan, Breddick's calling you. There you go, he's gone. Why isn't he here? No, I mean, unless you can play pink ball, but pink ball is not the same as red ball. No bowler, no batsman will ever tell you that pink ball is the same as red ball. It is not. It's a different beast in itself. The red ball reacts way differently off the wicket, feels different off the bat. It acts different out of the hands when the bowlers are bowling it. It's very different and inconsistent. The red ball's not. The red ball's what we grew up playing, but the red ball is Test cricket, right? So unless you can find a way to replicate the sun, the lights aren't the same. The lights shining on a red ball it's still really hard to see. Where pink ball's a lot better. It is, but it doesn't react the same as red. And this is my argument. This is Test cricket. This is the beauty of Test cricket, and what I love about Test cricket. It really hasn't changed a lot in the last 100 years. It's still bat versus ball. The competition's still there. The wicket still deteriorates. The team's most disciplined, usually, most of the time, still wins. It's a long grind. We've got T20 cricket. We've got one-day cricket. Yes, there's parts of Test cricket that have changed over the years, but the basic concept of it hasn't. And, whether people are getting a bit more impatient now, I don't know. But I feel like that happens in Shield cricket too. Everyone expects results, and draws have kind of gone out of the game in this fast-moving world. So I think the game hasn't changed. I think people maybe just getting a little bit more patient. It sucks, but this is Test cricket, unfortunately. And when it rains or when you have bad light, you just have to cop it. And then you have 5 days of cricket to get a result. I still think there will be a result in this game.
Yes. Was there ever any chance you and Davey weren't going to walk out to last night with just one over to face? Was there ever just either of you asking?
We've discussed it, but I think neither of us want to bat 3. So who's going to be the one? You said not watching out to take the over, but who's going to bat 3 then? He doesn't want to bat 3. I don't want to bat 3. So I think there's a stalemate there. I'm not sure if that'll ever happen unless an opener is willing to bat 3.
When Shane Watson has said that he thinks Steve Smith could be a good option to open the batting after David retires. I know that you're very clear on it's a specialist position. Would you make an exception for Steve Smith?
I say it's a specialist position in brackets, but I think anyone who can bat in the top 4 can open. Personally, I wouldn't want to sacrifice, in my opinion, the second greatest ever Test batsman after the Don off the position that he's been batting is so long. The beauty of Steve Smith is he's a beautiful number 4 batsman. He can bat against pace. He's really good against spin. And we don't only just play in Australia, play in other places, part of the world and whatnot. And I think I think that's his best spot for the team, personally, with Marnus at 3. And then you can decide who you want to bat at opening. But I think anyone who can bat in top 4 can generally bat opening. So I do say specialist per se, but I think if you're batting in the top 4, you're probably coming in the new ball a fair bit, especially in Shield cricket at times. So I think that's probably my answer for that one.
Last one, I think.
There's a fairly strong reaction from Wasim Akram and some of these guys after Shaheen Afridi was rested from this 3rd test. You've played in the BSL, you've played in Pakistan, interacted with people around the world. Do you get the sense that outside of Australia and perhaps England and India, there are teams and players who view Test cricket differently to perhaps the way you do and the way Australia does?
I don't feel like Pakistan don't value Test cricket as much as we do. I don't know Shaheen's personal schedule, his workloads, what's going on. So you have to look at a bigger plan sometimes. I know our bowlers do it too. We're in a good spot right now, but Josh Hazlewood, take him for instance, he got injured last couple of summers with a side strain, and we had to sort of work with him. We're just lucky that our bowlers have been injury-free for a while, so they've been able to workload and manage themselves and to be able to play as much as Test cricket as possible. But Shaheen had that injury in the World Cup where he was out for a little while after that. He's come back from that. Test cricket isn't easy. It's particularly not easy on the body. So, before I'd ever comment on anything like that, I'd probably want to know all the facts as to how they're trying to manage him, what they're trying to do. So, when I see something like that happen, I don't really think they're doing it because, they don't care about Test cricket. He's such a valuable bowler to Pakistan. He's Pakistan's best bowler, and you need to make sure that he's on the park for as long as you can, for the most amount of Test matches you can. And sometimes, you might have to sacrifice something here and there.
Sorry, do one more, Scotty. Last one.
I'll take your point on like your recently asked question about Test cricket staying the same, and also how much of a difference there is between the red and the pink ball. But could a solution be for the pink ball to be used in all tests rather than the red ball, because that would then potentially eliminate the issue of bad light, or is the pink ball just not up to that standard yet to do so? Because there's always a discussion, we change it when it gets bad, but that would require changing the ball.
No, you couldn't do that. You'd have to
so-
commit to the pink ball fully.
Yeah, that's like, is that a solution, or are we just not anywhere near that standard yet for the pink ball?
I mean, if it is, I'm retiring. I personally think it's not. The red ball is so distinct. Like, I've played white ball, I've played pink ball, red ball. They all react so differently. Nothing reacts like that red ball. How they make it, the dye they put on, it just doesn't, in my opinion. But I don't make those laws, I don't make those rules, so that's just my opinion.